a description in.
Okay, we're live now.
Yeah.
Coming now, it's just setting it up, right?
Okay.
Redirecting to Facebook Live page.
Good.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Right.
Let me see if I can share it now.
Jaggy Thistle is live in an online event.
Okay, like it. I'm going to share it. Oh, let's try.
I haven't got it on my Jaggy Thistle.
I have.
I do. Okay, I think I have it.
Yeah, we have 7 people already. Hello, you 7.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't have it.
Where do you have it?
I don't
You
know.
broadcast it in Jaggy Thistle for sure. I mean, I see you.
I've got yesterday's, but I haven't got today's.
Just
Why
refresh,
not?
pull down. Remember,
Say again.
we can't hear you, Fran.
You can hear me? No,
Oh,
just okay. You're broadcasting it because it's live right now.
And you've got it. So I can't see. I don't know where it is.
Can you just go to your Jaggy Thistle?
Yeah, right, I've got it. Wait a minute.
And if you go down a little bit.
Got it.
Hey.
Got it.
Okay. So now can you share the screen in gallery mode?
We have Leslie, Janet, and Susan Brown. Go Troops! Scottish Letters, go Troops! Go, 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 go.
Where are you seeing who is?
James, my hero. Okay.
Jorge, where do you see who is there or who is talking?
Just on the top right corner, just you will see tap on the screen and you will see a little square.
Okay, yes. Hey, yes. Hi, James. Now I can see everybody.
Yeah,
Yes,
James.
Liz. Yay, Scottish Bladders out there. Hi, our Bladders.
Can see you, Liz.
Susan. Okay. I think we're ready. So I guess you, Helen. Hi, Janet Blair. We're live from Jaggy Thistle.
And Fran, how do you share this?
Yes, you have to get out from here.
Yeah.
You have to go to the publication and then share it on your screen.
Okay.
Hi, Joyce James. Hi, Patrick. Meeting. Hello. I don't know how to say that last name.
Patrick Keating.
Keating. Okay, no Meeting. Sorry, Keating.
Oh, technology. Oh, technology.
This is so scary.
Okay. My doubt is
Sorry, Jones, Patrick.
if somebody is watching, because all the, well, I don't know. If somebody's not being answered, I'm so sorry for that. This is our first attempt to a live stream issue.
To be honest, I don't know how to share it.
And now, Liz, can you share your screen so that way people will get to see the 3 of us? I don't know if that.
Right, so sorry. Share, what am I sharing, Fran? I'm sharing my Zoom screen.
Yes. TV professional, like, yeah. This is so scary. Yeah.
I have the 3 of you. So I think you need to go to yours and do it to gallery mode.
Hello, Ray from Minnesota. Yes, good, good, good.
No bother for a tour and IT professional like you. You're having a laugh.
Who's having a laugh?
Susan is saying that I'm an IT professional. She knows me too
Maybe
well.
put it on gallery mode. That's what we're trying,
Yeah,
Joyce. But,
I've got you in gallery mode.
but you have to share your screen.
Okay. Yeah, but we're not, are we ready to go share screen? Okay.
Yeah, but not the PowerPoint yet. Let's see
Okay,
what happens.
sorry.
You feel our pain? James, this is so crazy. Try to be technological, clever people.
What do you see now?
Well, what is what I see on my screen in the computer, and what is what's showing up here? Nope.
Right, I'm just going to put it to the presentation and have us in the corner.
The thing is that only one person comes in the corner. Hello from Utah.
So how do I still don't know how to share this on mine. I'm sorry.
Okay, you have to get out from here.
Yeah.
Go to the publication, Jaggy Thistle's publication, to the feed of Jaggy Thistle.
Okay, how do I get out of here?
PowerPoint. Yay.
Yep,
Hello from Utah.
yep. And then once I'm in Jaggy Thistle,
And once you're there, you go to the feed, and you will see the screen where it says they're broadcasting live. So people, please bear with us because we are live. We're a little bit technical handicap. Hi,
Oh,
Mary from
It's Mary
Arizona.
McLaughlin. Mary's fantastic. Such a supporter of Scottish Blethers. Lovely to see you, Mary.
Hi, Mary. So just hopefully we'll be on time.
okay, I have to get out of the publication and then just go to Jaggy Thistle.
Yeah. James is saying that we also see the speaker in the small screen. That's fine. That's what we wanted. If that's working okay, Joyce, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You also see speaker in the small screen. Great. Thank you, Joyce.
Oh, Marcin is watching with you. Marcin is our driver. Way!
Really?
Yeah. He's in for a laugh. He knows how bad this is going to be.
Oh my God.
Is it 8 o'clock yet?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are live then.
We're live. Okay, so you have to help us with this. This is 3 technophobes, 3 friends who are trying very hard to master technology. And tonight is a big step forward because tonight we're trying to marry up Zoom and a Zoom presentation with Facebook Live and trying to stream it over 3 different devices. And we know that we've got many friends in here, so we hope that you're all going to be very supportive and tell us when we're going wrong, tell us what we're doing wrong, help us. Ivy's in, she was watching. Irene Crichton, Irene was my bridesmaid. My very best friend, Irene Crichton, is on watching as well as I crash and burn. Okay, right, let's get going then. Okay, so this evening, what we're going to do is tell you a little bit about the 3 of us, how we met, what brought us together, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our countries and why we love them so much. And we'll finish up this evening with an introduction to what we're doing nowadays, what this is all about, trying to get to people in their own homes using technology to put on virtual events. So we hope that this will work well. So let's give it a go. Okay, first of all, we're united by a love of travel and a passion for our country. So that's what brings the 3 amigos together. So hopefully this presentation is the right size, the sound is good. If there's any problem, please let us know right away. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the 3 of us, we met thanks to Rick Steves. It was a long time ago, it was like 12 years ago, something like that. We all met Rick and we met a bunch of great friends. And the thing is that we learned and loved the philosophy of this company. And the thing is, I think we became, super close the three of us on one side, but everybody with everybody in the company. I mean, the philosophy of this company, it's love of traveling, learning experiences, it's having fun together. So it's a great thing. Every year we go to Seattle, well, to Edmonds, which is where Rick is from. And we have a guide summit. We all get together there and we talk about travel problems, travel issues. Obviously, as you can imagine, we had no idea what was coming.
And the only
Last
way
year.
that you can tell which year it is, the only thing that changes is the hair color.
In
Everything
your
else remains
case, not
the same.
my
You can see
case.
the three amigos side by side.
Yeah. So, oh, gosh. So anyway, when we go to Seattle, it's, well, we always say Seattle, but it's really Edmonds. It's super fun, but we work our way through there. I mean, we go there for almost 10 days, and we have, during the week, we have a lot of reunions, and Rick gives us a State of the Union. It's a lot of meetings and everything. We go over the tours we're going to be leading we let the year pass, and we're going to be leading the next year. Then for me, and I think for you guys too, the day when all the alumni come into Edmonds, it's the best day because you get to see everybody. It's very stressing because you're there working, you're there welcoming people, but you get to see your tour members, and it's one of those moments that you want to be with them, but you have to do this. It's chaotic, but I love that day. It's really incredible. We go there to sell, and also during that week, we do radio shows. Rick has a lot of podcasts coming, I think like once or twice a week. And when we go to Seattle, we have the honor to sit in front of Rick. To me, it's one of the most stressing moments when you're with a microphone here and Rick right there, and he's asking you, and you're like, okay, hope I don't mess it up. But it's a great pleasure to be there. It's hard work, but it's also great fun. I love it.
It is a hard work, Fran, you're right. And but we also have our moments of fun, you know. It's hard work and it's very stressing, but it is a joy to be there. And also we get to bond among each other, you know, the bunch of all the guides together. And here you see on the picture on the left-hand side, one of those hybrid vehicles, let's call it that way, that they go on the road. And then suddenly we went into Lake Washington, and that was a blast. That was just incredible. And it was the same day that the Seahawks, they were playing against, Liz, give me a hand here. How are these people called? The one with the...
They're called cheeseheads. I think it's Minnesota. I think if somebody out there knows, it's the Cheese Packers. So somebody might help us. But they were playing in the final of the Super Bowl against the Seahawks the first year that I was there, which was 2013.
Yes, I remember that, and that was, you know, we got to feel the spirits of the American football, because here in Europe, football is what you call soccer, right? Especially in the United States. Anyway, we had lots of fun. We bonded with people together. They took us around, and of course, the great moment for all of us is what you see right now in your screen, which is the grand finale, which is at the very end of our hard work during the week with lectures and reunions and meetings and scheduling tours, etc., etc. They treat us with these theme parties. And here you see on the right-hand side, Frank, I don't know how he managed to sneak and sit just by Rick Steves.
No, I was there, and suddenly Rick said by me, and look at me, I'm like, oh my God, it's Rick, what is he doing here?
Well, but anyway, I don't envy you, to be honest, but anyway, it was, I mean, I'd love to have a photo just like that, okay? And then on the left-hand side, sorry, say that?
Rick dressed as a cow?
Yeah, well, it's a theme. It was the Wild West, and
Helen
were cows in the Wild West.
And Helen there beside Fran, she's another of the Scottish Blethers. She's trying to edge her way into the photograph there.
That's right. That's Helen over there. Yeah, that's true. And then on the left-hand side, you see the part of the Spanish team. And I had just the idea of trying to find how to dress up for that party without being copied, because, you know, the regular thing is that a hat and a shirt, typical, you know, with squares, and maybe a vest and something like that. And I thought, what about if I go as a bartender, a real bartender? So I let my beard grow for 10 days. I looked like a homeless for the entire time of the reunion and meeting, but the idea was to dress like that. And of course, I painted the mustache and the beard. You can see my hair is what Liz said at the very beginning. The hair colors changed, but anyway, that was a real good moment and good memory. So
Okay.
I,
Judy, Ray, and Amy says that the cheeseheads are from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you guys.
Sorry, Wisconsin. I knew that cheese had something to do with it somewhere.
oh my goodness, look at that. I love those photos. And Liz, there you are. I missed the chance that year to have a photo with Rick dressed as a cow.
We all try to get our photos with Rick because that's going to be on our marketing materials, our websites, our Facebook pages for the whole year. So that was a particularly good one that year.
Yeah, that's right. But there on the left-hand side, you see the three of us, the three amigos on the left, Francisco, Liz, and myself over there. Also, William on the far right, that he also works here in Spain.
William is our fourth amigo.
Yeah, and also our friend Apostolos from Greece. So that was a great night. We had a laugh, we had a blast. We just loved it. We just loved the entire thing. Fran, do you have anything? Oh my God, Liz. Oh, look at me there with black hair on the left-hand side. Look at Liz. Who can recognize Liz on that photo?
My husband doesn't recognize me on that.
Last year.
But I have such an inferiority complex because look at their teeth. I mean, they have just such wonderful teeth, the pair of them.
Well,
like an advert for a dentist's.
Well, yeah, you look kind of aggressive over there, don't you? Just like that. But anyway, I think that the three of us in here, we are just great in these photos. And that was last year's. That was the last time we met together. Hopefully soon, with a little bit of patience, we're going to repeat, not maybe the Pirates theme, but some other themed final party on the farewell night when we are over there. And that's how we bond, guys. That's how we bond together. All the bunch of tour guides when we are over there in Edmonds, which is like Francisco said, and in our days off, we have only one day off. Look at that, what we do. We play as tourists. I mean, Trader Joe's. What do you mean, going to Trader Joe's for an excursion? Yeah, because we don't have that in here. So for us, it's kind of fun. Have a look on the right-hand side. We all are posing with our state Trader Joe's. No, Washington State bag over there. I have 3 states Trader Joe's bags. And on the right-hand side in the center, I'm photo booming over there at the moment that Liz found, and she was so happy when she found the spices that she wanted, that she gets like 2 or 3 jars just to keep it for the whole year. And then also we spent some time in the escape room. We went to this year to that escape room over there. You can see Helen over there, and also Scottish leathers. And on the far left, is that you, Liz? Yes, that's you. And Francisco is the one with the black sweater just under the key, and I'm in the ground. I'm always on the ground, somewhere or another. I'm always there.
Oh, Fran, I don't know what happened to you.
I don't know what happened.
You dropped
Suddenly
off
disappeared.
You can tell from these photos just how much fun we have when even just going shopping brings great big smiles to your face. So we have a wonderful time meeting up with friends, old and new, while we're in Edmonds. And then, as you can see here, we take time to travel. So this was Helen and I as we moved on to Lake Louise. We were on a Canadian trip, and we went right up into the mountains and walked all over Lake Louise when it was about minus 20 degrees.
Ow.
We go to exactly today, 1 year ago, we were watching Moulin Rouge in a Broadway show. Oh my God. 1 year ago.
Yeah, time flies, isn't it? And there you are with Claire, that she's also, a colleague of yours in the Basque Country and the Basque Tour. The one in yellow is Federico, the local guide for Madrid from Rick Steves as well. And also he does the Barcelona Madrid tour. And the other couple down there, they are 2 Spaniards that happen to be that he is from the same place that where Francisco is from. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was incredible because I didn't know this couple. And the guy starts talking. I'm like, you have a very accent very much from here. I'm from Pamplona. I'm like, Pamplona? I'm from Pamplona. It was like in the middle of New York. I met this guy from my hometown, which is, well, the love of traveling. It's the great, great thing of traveling. Makes it wonderful.
Okay, so you've heard a little bit about the good times that we have and the love of guiding that brings us together, but just a little bit about ourselves as an introduction to ourselves for those of you who don't know us. I'm Liz Lister, and born, brought up, Rogues Gallery. Some Irene might recognise some of these. Born and brought up in Scotland, and went to Stirling University, where I graduated as a teacher. So I taught for a number of years, and then I moved into, well, first of all, at university, I met my husband. So first of all, this one here, it's nearly 40 years since we were married. And as we say in Scotland, I'd have been out by now, which means that life is generally less than 40 years if you get done for murder. But I have managed to put up with him. We have survived. We've had great times together. Oh, sorry, wait a minute, sorry. Oh, hang on. I've blown it just a little minute. Right, so you can't miss this one because this is the star one, right? 40 years of marriage. And you may recognize the back of that head. It's not Helen Mirren. It is actually the Queen, because both of us had careers in education, and Brian was in the community college sector. And for services to community colleges, he was awarded the OBE, which is an award, a system of honours in Scotland, which is Order of the British Empire. And so we were fortunate enough to be invited down to London as he was awarded his OBE. So a highlight. So just had to put that in. This is my daughter Jenny, and this is us down with him in London as he gets his OBE. But from teaching, both of us moved on. You saw that Brian moved on into further education. I moved on into higher education, into recruitment and admissions. And while I was in recruitment and admissions, I was traveling the world. This is Bangkok, and I was representing Scotland, but I knew very little about Scotland. I'd never studied history. I was a biologist. There was so much that I wanted to learn about and so many places that I wanted to see. I'd seen more places overseas than I'd seen of my own country. So I might have been able to get to places like the Taj Mahal, but I wanted to know Scotland better. So I took early retirement and I trained for 2 years to become a Scottish Tourist Guides Association Blue Badge Guide. Never worked harder in my life, but absolutely wonderful, fantastic transition from work into a new life, a new career, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. And I get the opportunity to take wonderful groups like this one here, all over Scotland, and then we usually end up at Bannockburn at the site of the famous victory against the English, where I get them to dress up in Scottish gear and generally turn them into loud, rowdy Scots. So they've definitely bonded by the end of it. And along the route, you can meet interesting people. Can anybody recognise who this is that I met along the way? Answers on the comments, please. And this lady was sitting in the foyer of the hotel as we were holding our welcome meeting. And one of my tour members pointed out very discreetly to me that there was a very special lady sitting in the foyer, and I went dashing out, can I please, can I have my photograph taken with you? So I did the fan worship thing and I got my photo taken. So see if anybody can recognise who this is. We'll see the answers coming in. Yeah, Amy's first again, Diana Gabaldon. The author of Outlander, who has done so much for Scottish tourism. So she was an absolute gem. She was a treasure, lovely to talk to, and it was a delight to meet with her. But the real delight is meeting the tour members, tour members like these ladies here that I took around Scotland. This is at one of the Outlander locations here, and you begin to get to know them more. And sorry. So I got to know them on the tour, and these are 3 very special ladies. And you have to be aware, if you're a tour member on one of my tours, be very careful if you invite me to come and visit you sometime, because the chances are I'll turn up, like these ladies in Nashville, where I visited with them. We had a fabulous time, and I have so many friends all over the world now as a result of tour guiding.
Okay, so who am I? So my name is Francisco, and I'm originally from Pamplona, the city of the running of the bulls. Thanks to Ernest Hemingway, we became world famous. And well, yes, I was born here long. These two pictures are like kind of funny. It's like, hey, I look like a handsome man, but it's just good luck. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. I kind of shy with this too. So here you have, I'm from the city of the running of the bulls, and everybody knows that during that week we all dress in white and red. So that's me, the one on the right-hand corner with my two brothers. Yes, I have a red-haired brother. Here we have a lot of Scottish heritage. But then I grew up and I had a dark side, I guess. Yeah, that is me too. That, well, thank God, after this phase that I had, I found the love of my life and we got married. This is my wife, Ainoa, and we got married we've been together for about 25 years now. We started dating in 93, so it's a long time ago. And we have 3 kids, the most beautiful kids in the world. And well, they're not babies anymore. They're 19, 17, and 13. And one of the things we love doing is traveling around the world. Here we're in New York, in Venice last year, like right before shutdown. It was incredible. They love Venice. They love traveling with us. At least to this point, they love traveling with us, which is incredible. So we treasure those moments, family moments. That's the 5 of us. It's wonderful. Oh, my babies. I love it. About my studies, I have marketing studies. In fact, it was fashion marketing. And the thing is that I enjoyed it. I work as fashion marketing and retailing, all that, for about 11 years. But at the end, it is a very empty work. You're selling things that people don't need. And I was a little bit fed up with all of that. And suddenly, tourism came on my way. It was the perfect moment for me to find tourism. And really, I always say that, what is marketing? Marketing is selling something. Before I was selling air, now I'm selling reality. I'm selling history. I'm sharing culture. I'm sharing my passion, okay, which is my heritage. So I could say that I'm still in the same business, but now it's tourism, which is super, super fun. So that was about 20 years ago that I started with tourism. 18 years ago I started with tourism, so that was a long time ago. And then I love having fun with my tour members. I mean, all of these, there were a bunch of Brits. They decided to do a chorus line in the middle of the desert. It was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It was so hot, but they had such a great sense of humor, and there they are having fun. And I was taking the picture, of course, also dancing. I love moving and dancing too. Well, I love this picture because I had this group. They were the best in the world. And we were visiting a sheep farm, and we had to wear shoe covers. And I told the shepherd in the last second, let's tell them that it's for the hair. So the shepherd was like, they're not going to believe that. It's like, people tend to believe whatever a tour guide says. So everybody got it in the head. We got the picture. It was the funniest moment in the world. But afterwards, we took them out and put them on the feet where they belong. It's so much fun. I love this picture. Because I always say that when a good tour guide does a perfect job is when you put the whole bus to sleep, and then you can do whatever you want in the bus and take selfies when people are totally passed out, which is, I love it.
Martin is well used to me putting everybody to sleep on my coach, so he'll probably come in with a comment on that. Jorge.
Okay, so who's that little cute baby there in the middle of this screen? That's me. That's I would say like 35 years ago. No, I wish, but no, it's just one of my favorite pics when I was a little baby. And just if you look to the right, I'm there. Believe it or not, it's the same person, but I'm over there in the top of Empire State Building. And like Liz mentioned before, we like just traveling around, you know. And the one on the left-hand side is also me when I pretended to be an actor and to be a model. I did some bits and pieces that eventually gave me some food on my plate every day. But you know, waiting for the call to give you the chance and the opportunity to do something here and there, that is like real war out there. So I had to take a decision, and just by accident, I started uh, guiding, you know, groups, doing small bits, you know, starting from the very, very low step that you can imagine, which is just making transfer from airport to the city and vice versa for Americans. And because I lived 5 years in the past in the UK, in the south, 2.5 in London, 2.5 in Brighton, a friend of mine just called me saying, hey, you speak English, why don't you go and do this? And then that was the very beginning of a journey that has been now on for 25 years. Okay, last year has been totally, you know, wasted, but still the years count, and we are developing new ways. That's why we're here today, new ways of keep on doing the things that we are doing. And so because that call never came, after I started just guiding, I decided, okay, this is my field, because I just love taking people around. And as you can see in this photo, this iconic place of Spain, which is Toledo in the background, and this is a group that's you know, another Rick Steves group that people are just, they don't believe when they get there. Just imagine that there are people that probably they've been saving all their lives to do the life of the journey of their lifetime, or people that they are just used to travel and it is just on the list. And whenever they see those things that they saw before, either on a screen, on television, or on a photo, in a book, and they get to see in real life, I mean, it's priceless, those moments, to see the joy in their faces. So here, of course, I have hundreds of photos like that. And like Fran said, you know, we like goofing around now and again. And here, I never had the idea of the, you know, putting them as hats as you did. But I told them, hey, we look like if we're going into Smurfs town. So why don't you just do a little fun photo here? And that's what we did. And there we are, you know. And well, that's again the same thing. People, that's in Barcelona, in the top of the Casa Milà, one of the iconic buildings of Barcelona. And of course, that is a chimney, believe it or not. You know, it's one of the Gaudí creations and things. And let's take a photo here. And they always are willing to do it. And the best part of it is that you just get to get friends. Like Liz said earlier, that if you tell a tour guide or your tour leader, when you go to Edmonds or when you go to the United States, come and visit us or join us. I mean, these two lovely ladies on my right and on my left back shoulder, and her daughter and the husband, you know, they are just lovely. And I have to have lunch with them every time I go to Edmonds. But not only with them, I have to tell you a little thing that in one occasion, I had lunch 3 times in the train same day with different tour members. And being in Spain, which is the best thing to do in Spain, just to stroll around and do some tapas, and occasionally just stopping by for a little sip, a quick sip of something. So there we go now. As you see, this wonderful man here is serving sherry wine in the typical glasses of sherry. Of course, this is the Best of Spain tour, and we were in Jerez de la Frontera, the homeland of the sherry wine. And you cannot go to Jerez de la Frontera and not try the sherry wine. And that is in the middle of the street. These two tour members, these are, I mean, everybody's my favorite, but you have special memories sometimes. The person with the red hands, with the red hat on the left-hand side with the Spanish sombrero, Bill, that was his 92nd birthday when he was over there. And I asked his daughter that she came with him saying, how's he doing? I mean, he looks great. And then she said to me, you know, I'm so sick and tired of picking up the phone every day for women wanted to date him, you know, asking him out. And the one on the right-hand side, that man, Ron, he is a star. He doesn't speak a word of Spanish. And the very last day of Spanish tour, he didn't attend some of the things on the schedule because without knowing a word of Spanish and without knowing what to do, he just jumped to a taxi and went to a place, and he had that T-shirt printed just for me. And I promised him whenever I go to Edmonds, because he lives in the area, I was going to wear it. So he came over, and everybody was telling me as I was going around, "Oh, I've seen your T-shirt." And I said, "Oh, yes, thank you." But I was thinking, what T-shirt? When I saw him, we burst into laughs. And then the very first thing he said to me is, "Where's your T-shirt?" And then I said, "Here it is." And there you are. Look at our faces in there. That is real joy. Obviously, when I'm there, as Francisco said, and Liz, we take our side trips, and we just want to be tourists, but not only United States. Whenever we have a chance, we travel anywhere in the world, because that's part of our itchy feet. We guides have itchy feet. Here we are in the Golden Gate, and then on the left bottom, I'm in the top of the bridge in the Sydney Harbor. You see the Opera House just behind me. Then in San Francisco again, I can't remember the name of that street with the curves, but it's very touristy. And
Lombardo
then
Street.
a few years ago, sorry?
Lombardo Street.
I think it is, yeah.
Lombard.
And then, of course, I went in Ireland. I used to go in normal circumstances, like about maybe 6-8 times a year to Ireland. And of course, I had to visit and kiss the Blarney Stone to go for, for the knowledge and to know the
charm and wit that you're known for.
That's right. Thank you. Oh, how did we meet Frank and Jorge? Okay, Frank, you say your version first, and then I will say my version.
Okay, answer my version. How did we meet? Well, Jorge and we met in Seattle. He was a guide touring around Spain. I was a local guide only in the city of Pamplona. The thing is that we met there. The Spanish group in Seattle were very good friends. We were all very, very close to each other. And we became instant friends. And the thing is that we became super friends when I lead the Basque tour for Brick, and the tour was becoming bigger and bigger, and we needed more guides. And although Jorge knows very well the Basque country, he didn't know it the Rick Steves way. So he shadowed me on one of the tours. Okay. And it was a great fun. It was fantastic. But if you see the picture all the way at the right, well, we traveled together after the meetings and everything. He took that picture of me when I was closing my eyes.
One of me as well. He takes one of everybody.
I think that after that picture, I cannot believe you are sharing it here. But if we're friends after this, we're very good friends.
Yeah, if we are still talking to each other, that means that we are good friends. I remember that photo was taking a nice flight from one place to another. I can't really remember now where we're going to. But, Frank has the ability, whenever he sits on a plane, he just sleeps the second after. And I can't sleep on planes, Anyway, that was just before the photo on the left-hand side. We are again by the Golden Gate. And also when we are together there on the right-hand side at the bottom that is in New York, actually, in front of the Empire State Building. And the one at the top, of course, we have wherever you go, do what locals do. Whenever in Rome, do what the Romans do. So we went to do some bowling as well in near Edmonds in Linwood, I think it was, in that bowling area that is over there. And we see some of the colleagues from the countries. We see the two of the Portuguese colleagues, and then we see the one with the highest ball at the top. He's William. That he's also.
He's watching, by the way.
He's just joined us.
Yeah. So fond memories. I really miss those moments. Yeah.
Well, this is when I met Fran. You have to realize that when you go to Edmonds as a new guide, it's quite overwhelming because you have well over 100 guides, 150 guides, and amongst them there are some real stars, and you're sort of awestruck by the people that you see, and you aspire to be like them. And we always do workshops, and one workshop every year is on communications. And on this particular year, they decided that they would ask 5 experienced guides if they would present something from their tour some point that was particularly important to them from their tour. And just imagine having to present something to 150 tour guides. So Fran was pretty scared, and I met him sitting in a cafe going over and over and over his presentation, because his presentation was on Guernica. And I sat and listened to him and gave him some suggestions and whatever. And then we went into the session, and as I say, there were 5 guides, and 3 of them moved me to tears. The presentations were absolutely out of this world, and Fran's was awesome. So I've held him in the highest regard ever since, particularly because every now and again we'll share a dirty martini together while we're across there in Edmonds. So that's another side of it too.
Liz, well, the day we met, I was so stressed. I was like terribly stressed. It was like, okay, you're going to talk in front of the best 100 guides in Europe. I was like, who am I? I don't even know how to speak. I was like scared to death. But you called me down.
If I may interrupt, not the best 100 guys, 100 plus guys in Europe, the best 100 plus guides in the world.
Yes, you're right. I mean, and there
I'm
you
so
are.
modest.
I'm like nobody, Mr. From a small town. I was so stressed. But you called me down, and it was like, okay, you're gonna do it well. I'm like, okay. And thank God for the martinis. By the way, I still owe you that martini.
And I should say that Fran is doing a live virtual event. I think it's April. Is it April?
I think it's going to be in April. Yes.
April, and it's on Guernica. And if you get the chance to watch that, my goodness, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Jorge, tell us the secrets.
Tell you the secret. Okay, I think that you got into Rick's Tips 1 year after I did, right?
Yeah.
But just for whatever, I mean, I remember the one of the very first few words we crossed is that we are from the same year, 1964. Yes, and that was the very initial step of a wonderful friendship in here. But we got much closer when we went on I think it was in 2018, Rick Stiff's Turkey tour that he wanted to promote on the page. And, we as a guides, everybody that you see in there are Rick Stiff's guides. And he made the 2 tours, and I was on the waiting list for the very first one and didn't get in, but I got into the second one. That's on the left-hand side. Obviously, you can see it's Turkey because of the banner. But the photo on the right-hand side, that is really funny because that is one of those touristic spots that we were tourists. And I love being a tourist, to be honest. Mainly a solo traveler, but whenever it's a group of friends, there I am. And we got dressed like within 3 minutes, each of us. And then they told us, okay, you sit here, you sit there, you sit there. And then suddenly when I saw the photo, I realized that I was sitting on the seat of the emperor. Look at that over there, right in the in the middle. And
that's what he tells everyone, but he's still a budding actor at heart. He's still looking for the big break.
You can't help it.
And there you see Liz on the far right, just as wonderful as always, and all the same thing, you see people here from Italy, you see people from United States, from Turkey, from Norway, from Scotland, of course, from Portugal. And look at that joy in our faces. That was, a dream that came true that day, that morning. Look at Liz over there. Look at my eyes over there. We were so excited. Actually, when that hot air balloon was lifting up, I was feeling the tears rolling down my cheeks. And also, everybody took so many photos that we were so lucky to find these 2 on the left-hand side that we are both together in here. And then, of course, that magnificent view of the Cappadocia area in Turkey on the right-hand side. And as I said, playing like tourists, we got lost. That was new. And there you see Liz and I just trying to find out where we were going to have lunch or what to do in the sunny side of the coast of Turkey in the Mediterranean. And on the right-hand side, that is something that Liz, she was hesitating whether to buy it or not because she loved it. And then, it's typical that in Turkey, when you go and buy something, you might bargain with the one who's selling you the things. And then I know, Liz, correct me if I'm wrong, that I was saying to you, but Liz, are you bargaining for just €5? Just go and get it. When are you going to have the chance to find something that you really like? It's going to be with you for the rest of your life with this wonderful trip. So there you go, Liz got it. And may I say that, oh, God, no. You were tired
This
of
is
me
my
talking and
revenge
you
for
want me
the
to,
one
to
sleeping
stop,
on the
don't you?
bus.
Okay, as I said, when in Rome, do what the Romans do, and we had to do the, oh my goodness, the Turkish bath. Apostolos looks great over there because you only see his face. My intention was that, but I only realized that I was showing my arm and that disgusting belly over there,
Yeah.
you know, in the Turkish bath.
The
Anyway.
viewers will be pleased to know that I cropped the photograph. Yeah, I saved your blushes.
Thank you so much, Liz, for that.
And we're still
You're very
friends
welcome, both of
after
you.
all this time. Okay, now we're going to move on to tell you a little bit about our countries. You're all stuck at home at the moment, but we just want to whet your appetite for when you can travel again or when you would like to come on a virtual tour. So I'm representing Scotland, and if you think of Scotland, what do you think of? Well, a lot of people think, oh, it's cold there, it snows all the time, you know, it rains when it's not snowing. And then the other thing they might think of is men in kilts, men in skirts. I wouldn't say to someone, why are you wearing a skirt unless you like hospital food? Because Scotsmen don't like to be made a fool of. And sometimes you get the two together. So a snowman wearing a kilt in the recent snow that we've just had. So lots of stereotypes about Scotland. You might have heard of the Loch Ness Monster. It never ceases to amaze me how mesmerized people are when we cruise up Loch Ness and they say, I've heard about this since I was in kindergarten. And we tend to think of Nessie as just being something that we know about, but Nessie's known all over the world. You might think of the thistle, the Jaggy Thistle that my website is called after, which is the emblem of Scotland, the seeds spreading all over, just like the population of Scotland has spread all over the world over different generations. Hairy coos, they are always photogenic. Everybody wants to find them. Sometimes they hide, and we have difficulties if anybody is leaving on the last day of a tour and they haven't had a photo with a hairy coo. It's not a good tour. And then, of course, there's the bagpipes, learning to play the bagpipes, listening all about the stories behind them. So these are kind of the stereotypes that you might think of when you think of Scotland. But it's a beautiful country, a small country, just 5 million of a population, but such diversity within it. We've got beautiful coastlines, we've got the hills and glens. I particularly love the islands, which are represented here. On the bottom two, we have Iona, which is a small island off the west coast of Scotland. And the top two photographs there, I do some private guiding. Usually it's people who come back to me who've travelled with me before. I know that members of this group were trying to get in on the call, but I don't think that they've managed it to be able to access Jaggy Thistle this evening. But this was a group from Canada, and they had been watching Shetland on Netflix. It's a television series about a detective, Jimmy Perez, and they had decided that they wanted to come to Shetland. So the house behind them in the top left-hand picture there is actually the house in which it's his home on the Netflix series. On the right-hand side there, we went out on a trip. This is midnight, and this is up in Shetland. Now, the Shetland Islands are halfway to Norway, so it never gets dark in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's dark almost all the time, but this is midnight, and it's what they call the simmer dim, where everything gets, the sun sets and everything goes to dusk, but it never turns to darkness. So it was wonderful experiences there. And of course, the wildlife's pretty good as well. And one of the main attractions, the little sea parrot or puffin, which you can find all over the islands. If you're into your movies, you might recognize the left-hand side photo there. That's the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is the viaduct that the Hogwarts Express goes over when it's taken Harry and his pals back to school again. The top right-hand side, the Isle of Skye, the fairy pools on the island. Nowadays, Skye is overrun with tourists. It's so popular, but you can still find quiet places, particularly if you go out of season, where you can enjoy the stunning beauty of the Isle of Skye. And on the bottom right-hand side there, we've got the standing stones of Neolithic Orkney, where we've got archaeology that takes you back way, way before the pyramids even in Egypt. So it's going right back to some of the earliest recorded discoveries on Earth. And of course, there's the people as well. It might be a sheep farm. Neil Ross and his border collies, the sheepdogs and the lambs and sheep are a fantastic attraction on the Rick Steves tour. You can get down and dirty with the locals. Like I met this Jacobite in the Gellions bar in Inverness, which is a popular haunt for my tourists when I have them out on tour. And we have a saying in Scotland, if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes. Because as you can see, the weather is constantly changing. We don't just have 4 seasons in one day, we have 4 seasons in 10 minutes. So some beautiful scenery, and it's a photographer's dream.
So what about the Basque Country? I come from the Basque Country, which is northwest part of Spain. It's at the feet of the Pyrenees. And the image that people get for the Basque Country is people dressed with a beret, which is kind of like, well, no, we're not dressed like that. The typical things when people think about the Basque Country is that we run in front of crazy bulls. And yes, we do, and especially in my hometown, this is the city of the riding of the bulls. But Pamplona is much more than just that. The other thing that people think about the Basque Country, it's people dressed in white and red berets. This, I think it's funny because we never dress like this, except for 1 week a year. Okay, it's the only moment, which is the riding of the bulls of that moment. And it's the image that everybody from abroad gets of us. So everybody thinks that we always have a red beret when we always wear a black one. Well, the important thing is the black beret, which I love. I love this picture. I mean, those cute little kids.
I love this picture too, but I always say when I see this picture that the little lad there, this little boy here in the picture, I don't know if you can see the arrow, but this little boy, I think there should be a little speech bubble because I don't know what this little boy is saying.
I know, it's like, what happened there? It's okay.
He's had a little accident.
Yep. Another of the stereotypes of the Basque Country, it's that it's the Pyrenees, it's the nature. Okay, it's here it rains a lot and it's quite foggy, especially now, all of these days in the winter. It's very humid, it's very green. So the scenery here in the Basque Country is super beautiful. So those are the 3 huge stereotypes of the Basque Country, but the Basque Country is so much more than that. One of the most important things is the food. Food in the Basque Country is super important. This food, those leaves are eatable leaves, and they're from a Michelin star restaurant. Here we have thousands of Michelin high-end restaurants. If you love this type of food, it's incredible, but traditional cooking is also super good. Here you have a stew made of lamb and some pepper. It's super, super, super good. The other thing that is incredible in the Basque Country are the tapas. Now, everybody around the world are talking about tapas. Well, here we call them pinchos, and we are, let's say, the capital of pinchos in the world. Okay, so if you like small little treats, little things like this, come to the Basque Country because food is incredible. And food is always, always, always shared with friends. Here we eat a lot, we drink a little bit, but always with friends. So sharing friendship, it's one of the most important things that we have here in the Basque Country. About cities. Here at cities, we have, on one hand, the most beautiful city in the Basque Country is probably San Sebastian. San Sebastian is on the coast, it's a very elegant, very beach resort town, high-end, extremely beautiful. If you go into more modern, you can go to Bilbao. Bilbao, it's where Guggenheim Museum of Modern Art is, and it's a super modern, trendy city full of, it's the future of the Basque Country. But to me, the place where the Basque culture remains pure is in the small villages. The Basque Country, you have to see the big cities, but you need to visit the small villages because it's where the traditions are kept. Okay, our traditions are probably one of the most important things, and are all kept in all of these villages, which need to be seen. Traditions like the big heads and the puppets and the festivities. We do the running of the bulls, but the running, it's 2 minutes in a day. And the celebration is 8 days. So there's so much more that there are so many little traditions in that week. Shepherding is another huge part of our culture. Probably if you know Basque people, it's because they migrated, because on the 18th century, there was a lot of people having to go to America to work as shepherds. Okay? And another thing that is very traditional is the way we cook. This is, we hang peppers in this village called Espelette in the French Basque country. And it's the most traditional way of cooking that we have. So traditions is one of the most important things in here. About art. Art, it's, here we have amazing churches and abbeys, and it's incredible. This place is Santa Maria de Eunate. It's Romanesque style. It's, to me, the most beautiful little chapel in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I love it so much that this was my wedding chapel. This is where I got married. I love this chapel. This is Romanesque, but we also have a lot of Gothic. Gothic art, it's incredible. Probably the highlight of the Gothic art in Pamplona, it's Pamplona's Cathedral. We have this incredible elliptical staircase that it's breathtaking. And all of this art it has one thread, which is the Camino de Santiago. The Camino de Santiago, it's a cultural history, it's everything, and it crosses Navarre. So a very important part of the art in here is sustained thanks to the Camino de Santiago. So if you like art, Basque Country is super important. Jorge.
Okay, thank you, Francisco. And Spain, Madrid, Andalusia, and Catalonia. I have to say that I was born in Malaga, down in the south, where Picasso and Antonio Banderas is from. You know, the two most important people that might come to your mind whenever it's mentioned. And how come that I cannot share anything of my country? Although I'm from the south, I've been here in Madrid now for almost 30 years, but I'm so proud of this country. The diversity, the culture, the art, like Fran just mentioned to you, is in the Basque Country, but it's also all over. A country that has such a diversity, like 4 different languages, okay, in each region, and in different branches that they merge all together in what we are today. So here, from left to right, we're going to go with the tower of the Cathedral of Sevilla, which is in my tour of Andalusia. And that tower is the former minarets of the big mosque that used to be in Sevilla. Everything was knocked down except the tower, and they added a couple of floors extra just to put the bells over there, the bells of the tower. Actually, the architect of that tower is the same architect, because that is a twin tower of the one in Marrakesh in the square El Fna. Okay, the very famous square with the tower is exactly the same, except for the last part that was added. In the center, you have the photo, which is the symbol of the city of Madrid, Cibeles Fountain, Cibeles, is the goddess of earth and fertility of the earth, and with the representation of the different allegories around in a carriage pulled by a couple of lions, and that is the symbol of Madrid. For those of you who like soccer, you probably heard about the Real Madrid soccer team. That is the place where they go and celebrate everything that they win a lot. Okay. And on the right hand side, who haven't heard about Antoni Gaudí? Okay, so this is one of the iconic buildings in Barcelona. This is Casa Batlló. As a little curiosity about Casa Batlló, a Japanese entrepreneur, about 20 years ago, he wanted to buy the entire house and take it to Japan brick by brick. But the most curious thing is about that house, who the owners are those who invented the lollipop. So imagine just a candy with a stick, how much money can give you to buy one of those pieces of art. Okay, and tapas and food. What can I tell you about tapas and food? Everything could be a tapa. Anything could be a tapa. You know, just use your imagination. I have to tell you that cooking is one of my passions in the world, and I was taught to cook when I was a teenager by my mother. When I was born, she was blind, and being taught to cook by a blind person, that is something amazing. My mother used to say, just mix all the ingredients and magic will happen. And it's true, just use your imagination. And here you have a perfect example. Just go to the far right. All you see there, they are boiled potatoes, a few peppers, red and green, a few olives, and maybe some onions. Toss them all together, put some olive and vinegar and salt on it, and you have a wonderful, nutritious dish. Look what you can do with just one prawn there in the black plate over there. The other is zucchini lasagna. Zucchini lasagna. Wow, look at that. And on the far left, we have a baby squid stew, which is just, one of 4 little examples of the marvelous things. And there you got me. This photo actually is taken in Sevilla. In the old days, the fried fish was poor man's food. So now those places are so few and almost non-existent that those that they are still open, they are very, very popular because all they do is just chunks of fried fish, and they sell it by the weight, and they give you the cone of the paper, like in the UK, fish and chips, but it's a totally different concept, because in here you can see that the table's outside and the waiter from the bar next door comes to ask you for what you want to drink. But that is my passion, food, cooking, and just getting to know the traditions and what is done in every single place that I visit. I just love all of this. History. What can I tell you about history? My goodness. I mean, history. We have the oldest city in Europe called Cadiz in the southwest of the peninsula. In the old days was Gadir. And the Phoenicians, where today is Lebanon, they went over there 2,700 years ago. So history, Spain is the place for history. Of course, all the Mediterranean. Don't forget that we were part of the Roman Empire at the very beginning. Before that, we were part of the Greek, part that arrived to our shores. Then the Roman Empire, then the Visigoths. Then we were dominated by the Arabs for almost 800 years. This is just after the reconquering of the Arab, when at the end of the 1700s, the gate, the red gate, which is lit in red because of the Christmas last year, that was on the Bourbon dynasty. On the right-hand side is the headquarters of the Spanish army, and they were celebrating that day, something I cannot really remember, but I just like the pictures because they put the tapestry just hanging out of the windows, and all the styles, all the architectonical styles. And of course, this is our royal palace that claims to be the largest in Europe with 2,800 rooms. I was just shocked when I got onto that roof of that hotel with the pool that you see over there, and I saw, wow, I have to take a photo of that. And that is one of my favorite photos ever taken. And everything is history, because on top of that, below this palace that you see over there was another palace, and before that palace it was an alcázar, an Arabic word. Almost 40% of our language is based in Arab words, because they were here for almost 800 years. So not only the diversity, but our genetics, they are so mixed, so mixed. Well, that's to 20 and 21 hold.
Okay. So bringing it right bang up to date. All of this guiding, all of this passion, all of these adventures, meeting new people has come to a grinding halt, and it really hit us hard. It goes in waves. The fact that we should have been in Edmonds last week was a real down point. But in spite of that, there has been a lot of good that came out of 2020, and we hope to take that forward into 2021. So although at the moment we might be in lockdown to various degrees, so this little piggy went to market, the second little piggy stayed at home. We're all forced to stay at home for the moment. I'd like to cancel my subscription to 2021. I've experienced the free 7-day trial, and I'm not interested. Well, we could all go and hibernate. We could all climb under a stone, but we don't. So we've got active. We've rallied together, and a lot of the Rick Steves guides and others have come together in something called Guide Collective. And I know that many of you who are watching us are familiar with Guide Collective. And speaking for myself, I've loved the involvement. It's given me structure, it's given me challenge, it's given me the opportunity to meet with great people like these guys, but also to develop new skills. And I think we all developed new skills, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we have.
Tell me about it too. You know, I mean, who could tell us a year ago that we were going to do things like this and
I know.
get to this point?
We're not at the end yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Getting better.
And we've still got some viewers, which is good.
Yeah, so I think Guide Collective has been, besides all the learning experience, I think it's been a great support for everybody, because we are all guides stuck in the same place, and we need a place to laugh, cry, to be all together. So it's been a great bonding place. So it's been
And
great.
I think for both of you as non-native English speakers, I mean, I've been involved as an editor of the written articles, and to see how you've grown and the quality of the articles that you're now producing. And Fran, your book club, I mean, you were a star last week when you managed to get Ernest Hemingway's grandson on your book club.
You know, it's when I realized that I'm a big mouth. We said, oh, why don't we do a book club? No, great idea. Why don't we do a book club that takes people, you know, the book in one of our cities, like the sun also rises in Pamplona. And they would say, oh, great idea. You're first. What? It was so, I was like, I've never done a book club. I have no idea how to do it, but it was great. It turned out very, very well. I loved it.
Well, I have to add, Fran, that you set the bar really high there for the rest of us when we have to defend our books in here. Isn't that true, Liz?
I don't care. It's your problem now.
Yeah, and for me, it's been the technology side. So having to engage in social media, and also things like YouTube. I can now post a video on YouTube, which, you know, a year ago before Guide Collective started, I wouldn't have had a clue what to do. But just like-minded people. And if you haven't had a look at Guide Collective, then I suggest you search it out online at www.guide-collective.com. And have a look. Every month there's a theme, and in February going forward, the theme is love.
All you need is love.
You might want to take a look there. There's also virtual events on. There's a calendar which shows you all the live virtual events that are taking place. So well worth having a look at Guide Collective, which is something that the three of us are really involved in. For myself, I started up when I graduated as a guide in 2012. I started a website and called myself Jaggy Thistle. And I developed a very posh website, thinking that this was the way that my business would come in, that people would search for tourist guides online and that they would find me through the website. That didn't happen, because in my first year of guiding, I used to guide a group out of one of the hotels in Edinburgh, and they were a lovely group, 24 people, usually Americans, and we'd have a great deal of fun, and I'd show them Edinburgh as a local guide, and I didn't think any more about it until the following January. I got an email that said, would I consider working for Rick Steves? You come recommended. Well, the first question I asked was, who recommended me? And the second question, who's Rick Steves? Because in the UK, we've just never heard of him. He's still relatively unknown in the UK. So I Googled him. I found that he worked out of Seattle, and I contacted a friend and said, have you heard of somebody called Rick Steves? He goes, gee, yeah, you should go and work for him. So I started working for him, and I shadowed my two tours, as Fran was talking about. And then I had my first live tour as a tour leader. And who was on my first tour? Rick Steves. He does one tour a year, and he just happened to be on mine. So it's friend for life, and I absolutely love working for him. But the website got kind of ignored until this year, when I had to revamp it. And so it's now back to its former glory again. And what I'm trying to, I don't run tours per se, unless somebody comes to me asking me to guide. But what I am trying to do is to build up tour planning. So if somebody wants to come to Scotland and they're not sure what they want to see and what they want to do, then I love doing bespoke tours, planning tours with people. So that's what Jaggy Thistle does. And then the other side that has come out of the lockdown and the last year and a bit is Scottish Blethers. Scottish Blethers is a trio of 3 out-of-work tour guides, Helen, Liz and Susan. And we got together to do a podcast, which was something completely new to us. But we are very good at blethering, which is chatting. And so all we do is to pick, each of us picks a topic, we research the topic, we present it, and then we just blether about it. So we have loved doing that, and we have a lot of followers now who've been very loyal to us, very supportive. And this year, we've launched off on a new adventure, which is virtual tours. So every fortnight, we are doing a virtual tour. Helen led off last week with her introduction to Andrew Carnegie's Dunfermline. And we actually had some people along on that, and they seemed to enjoy it. And I know that Susan is going to do a really good job of St Kilda Islands on the Edge. So an archipelago off the coast of Scotland, one of the most extreme environments. And then towards the end of February, I'm going to do Edinburgh, A Tale of Two Cities, the medieval Old Town and the Georgian New Town. So lots keeping us busy in Scottish Blethers. Fran.
Well, first of all, the Scottish Blethers, I must say that you ladies are amazing. They're super fun. I mean, if you don't follow them, you can find them on, how do you say it?
Spotify.
Spotify, there you go.
And Apple and other podcast providers.
Yeah, I mean, really, to me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna cook, I turn the blethers on, and I have a bowl. I really always have one.
I have to agree. You must listen to them. It's real fun. Sorry, Fran.
So what am I doing? Okay, so first, what I've created is Travelingsteps, which is, I think for the next year, I don't know if we're gonna be able to lead large groups, like Rick Steves, 20, 24 people, that I cannot wait to do them because I love doing those tours. So I have created Travelingsteps, which is for very, very small groups. Okay, so right now I have like 2 different products. One which is a Basque heritage tour, and the other one which is one that I like. It's Stay Home With Us. Well, we'll have the San Fermin, which is the running of the bulls, which is great. It's just focus on that. That unfortunately our mayor is about to cancel them for next year, which is terrible. Then we have the Basque Heritage Tour, and then the Stay Home With Us tour. We have a family house in the Pyrenees that we can host 6 or 8 people. So what we want is to bring 6 people that have to be friends, because it's going to be super small thing, and you're going to be totally immersed in the Basque culture. Okay, we're going to do day trips from here to the big sites and everything. But you're going to be living in a small village of 50 people in a beautiful, beautiful house. You'll have to share bathrooms. That's unfortunately, we only have 2 bathrooms for 6 or 8 people. But the idea is to get everybody super immersed in this culture, which is beautiful. The other thing I'm doing also, I'm doing Facebook Live events, which is we do once a week, one Facebook Live, free Facebook tip based, which is the little income that is coming, so which is perfect. And also I write a blog, which Liz helps me, and William is also helping me to go over the text. That is great because I'm learning a lot. What else do we do? Now Jorge and I,
but before we go on to that, if people have been following you as I have, as you've been doing your tours, your virtual tours around the villages, you feel as if you really know the Basque Country, and I can't wait to get there. So I'm sure that if people have been following you, the idea of actually coming to the Basque Country and doing a tour with you, we just can't wait until it opens up again.
I can't wait to welcome you here. Anyway, so right now, Jorge and I, we are inspired by the Scottish Blethers. We're going to start having Spanish travel talks. What is this? Well, we're going to have a Zoom paid event that with only a reduced amount of people, we're going to have one topic, and maybe Spanish painters or Spanish music or one topic. We're going to discuss between the 2 of us about it, and then we'll have an open forum. We'll have a Q&A questions, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. And we're learning a lot from the Scottish Blethers, so that's great. So we love that.
And here we also have, we were kind of jealous about Scottish Flares. No, that's a joke, you know. We created, there is already in Spotify, Spanish Loops. It's about Spanish music, and you know, it's a theme playlists. And there were Christmas carols, you know, just about a month ago. Francisco has placed some Basque music as well. I have taken my time to find all the number ones of Spanish 80s, because don't forget one thing, that we came from out of a repression of dictatorship. Franco died in 1975, so it was an explosion of in all fields in culture, especially in music. So you can see the evolution of the music, and it's called Spanish Loops. The playlists are there already; they are waiting for you, and you're going to see the evolution. And just allow me 10 extra seconds over here. If you invite a Spaniard to a 80s party, it's going to be totally different, or you are invited, I better say, by a Spaniard on an 80s party. It's going to be totally different to any other country, because all that we did not have while Franco until the mid 70s or late 70s, all that exploded in the 80s. So it was a kind of, you know, wow moment that lasted for 10 years. So the list is there. My recommendation is to put your earphones in and just while you clean your home or you're driving on a road trip. And here is my website, Traveling with Jorge. Might sound a little bit boring to you, but I had the luck to find the same name for every single place, like in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also my a web page that is still in work in progress, okay? But you can still find Traveling with Jorge or there. My main source of communication is Facebook, and I do take tours, also virtual with virtual tip jar open tours in the city of Madrid. So if you go into YouTube as well, you're gonna see them already posted in there. And about my tour in Catalonia, I mean, you have to go and see the Sagrada Familia on the right-hand side, the Trancadís, Trancadis. That's the style that you see in the center part of this slide in here. That was created by Gaudí to recycle broken tiles to create that style over there. And on the left-hand side, you have a typical entrance of a house in Catalonia, in the country house. And what I created over there is small tour groups up to 10 people. I wish I could have some bringing or taking them to Catalonia by the fall, you know, this year. The dates are already on the webpage, and for 2022, for by all means, it's going to be posted within the next 15 days. So as I could say here, stay in the loop for those dates. And that is about Catalonia. So also I do tours in Madrid. And there you see the magnificent royal palace. You know, this is the entrance of that huge big palace. And I call the Catalonia and Madrid, I call it staycations, because we sleep in the same hotel, and then one day we focus in one location outside of Madrid, and then the day after we stay in Madrid and visit a site or a monument or a museum or whatever, and so on, one day after another. And but we sleep all the time in the same place. That's what we do in Madrid and Barcelona. Madrid is called the Imperial Cities Tour, but then in Andalusia, because the region is quite large, well, I have split it the tour in two parts. We're sleeping part of it in Granada, and then the other part we're sleeping in Sevilla. And of course, Andalusia. I'm from Malaga, I told you. I have the, not quite very deep, but whenever I hear some flamenco playing, something just runs through my veins and, you know, get me out there. And obviously, you might say it's the topic of Spain. It is part of Spain, it's part of the culture. You see a magnificent view of the Alhambra Palace in Granada over there on the center of the slide. And on the right hand side, you see that those little details, those are tiles, because that is from the square of Spain in Sevilla, you know, and that actually is from the pavilion of the Ibero-American exhibition in 1929. So everything here is covering a lot of fields, not only in art and culture, but also in food, because Granada is one of the dream places for those who love tapas. All right, and Sevilla, what can I say about Sevilla? Sevilla, you have to go there and see it. And there you have my contact, as I said, Traveling with Jorge, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And that's that cover that you see on the left-hand side. I pretended to do it, you know. It was one of those apps that you use in your phone, and I just created that some years ago. But anyway, I just still use it just to tease people. The first impression is that, wow, is that true? No, it's just, you know, goofing around a little bit. And anyway, there you are, the three of us, Frank on the left, Liz on the center, and me on the right-hand side. Please go ahead, guys.
So at this point, Ray!
We survived!
Yeah.
We did it!
There was a little
Oh,
bit
my goodness.
shaky backwards and forwards in the middle, but we've achieved it, and hopefully people have followed through with us. Most people have stayed with us. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that it's given you a little bit of insight into our countries and into what we're doing now. And for those of you who didn't know us before, hopefully maybe you'll start looking out for us and following us, liking, sharing, and grow it from there.
So it's been a great pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping up with us. Can't wait to keep on rolling and can't wait to go back on the road.
Yeah, I just have to say that I've been looking at the comments in here. They are so, I mean, we thank you so much for being here. And, you know, William is there, Anne-Ling, Tara, Leslie, Apostolo, James, etc., etc., etc. Alpha, yes, I did say that.
Susan and Helen, my Scottish Brothers ladies, yep. Lots of support.
Very supportive,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much indeed. And as we all say, that Los Tres Amigos.
Tara, thank you very much for being there.
Stay in the loop. Yes, Tara,
Yes.
thank you very much for being there. That means a lot for us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So how do we stop this now?
We'll have to stay here forever now. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, let's see if we can take this out now.
Oh, we're still live.
We're still live. Hold it. We're still live.
Yeah.
We're still
We're
live.
progressing live.